All right. Hello, everybody. It is a Saturday afternoon, almost 3 p.m. here on the East Coast. We've got Trump, who's about to talk about Bitcoin. In about 10 minutes, I believe he will officially be live, and we got to cover it and see what Trump has to say. This is going to be an interesting one, folks. I'm very curious for kind of how Trump plays this. There is obviously a political angle to this, and there is a angle that is really based in terms of the trajectory of his campaign and how he wants his campaign to play out. And so we're going to see some of the stuff he says to make the argument that he needs to make. I also think one thing that's going to be really important when Trump talks is obviously the price of Bitcoin, the arguments that Trump is going to try to make. And I'll go through, I think, 3 kind of core thesis arguments that he's going to go for. We'll see if it has an implication on the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is at 68,797. We touched 69,000 in the morning at around 10 a.m. So if he says some of the things that the markets want him to say while they price in a Trump victory, because none of this matters if he loses the presidency. So I do think if he says some really interesting stuff and then Kamala beats him in the polls and it seems like she's more likely to win, which we'll see what happens over the next couple months, Bitcoin could go down if he says a lot of great things about Bitcoin and crypto and the entire ecosystem, but then the market starts pricing that he's not going to win. If the markets start pricing in that he's going to win, probably by October, September, and he said all the things that he needed to say that the Bitcoin community wanted him to say, maybe we're going to get some more momentum in the context of Bitcoin. So let's see. Let's see what happens. We've got about 6 minutes. Hello, everybody. We got Jared, Carl, Matt Money. What's up? We got Derek Stevenson here. David, thank you all for being here this morning. Hopefully you guys are having a good Saturday. Pound your hotline. What's up? What's up? What's up? And he should be talking soon. Now, I don't know if it's going to be exactly at 3 p.m. in 6 minutes. I mean, it should be, but then again, it's Trump. It's, you just never know if it might be delayed a little bit. So we'll see if he officially goes live soon. Guitar Littlefield, Adam, what's up? What's up? Art of War, Anthony, are you gonna be showing the video? Correct. I will be streaming the actual video. It's on YouTube, but you guys love me, so you guys came to my stream versus just going to the YouTube stream, right? So that's why you guys are here. And that's why we're watching it all together. Joy Luna, what's up? Isaac, what's up? Amid trying to spread FUD on Bitcoin to buy cheap. Dude, the time to buy was that July 4th tank to 58,000. I didn't necessarily buy a lot of Bitcoin then, but me and my boy Adam, we sold some puts on BitX, which is a 2x leverage Bitcoin fund, and those have done very well. The premiums were just insane, dude. I mean, I at one point I had a contract filled. I got $918 for putting up 2,400 in collateral, which, if I'm not wrong, it's more than 30%. 918 divided by 2,400. Yes, 38%, dude. Now it expires in January 2025, so 38 divided by 6. That's 6% a month, 6.3% a month. So there were some really good deals. MicroStrategy was on sale at that time. CleanSpark was on sale. Now, in 6 months, a lot can change. Bitcoin could collapse, and those puts could be, in the money. But we'll see. I think we're on the right trajectory right now, and we'll see what Trump ends up having to say. Benny, what's up? John, what's up? Jacob Baker, what's up? What's up? Ephemeral Phase. I was watching the official live stream, but had to switch to yours, obviously. Thank you. See, this is how I know you guys love me. That's the most important thing. So he's not live yet. I'll keep an eye on when he's live. It might be in 10 minutes. Maybe it's not exactly at 3 o'clock because, again, it's never always exactly on time. But we will see what happens. So here are the 3 arguments I want to present for what I think Trump will say. And if he says any of these 3 things, I mean, look, realistically, am I expecting Bitcoin to jump when he speaks? No, because that's not how it goes, right? Usually it ends up being a sell the news, all this stuff. So I'm not the most optimistic. I would be very happy, and it would be interesting to see how the price reacts, but I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't think anyone should get their hopes up because you just never know. I mean, it's Bitcoin. You really have no idea what how it could play out. Here are the 3 arguments I think he could say that would make things exciting. Number 1, he would say the U.S. should be a global leader in crypto, specifically for Bitcoin mining. I think he will say this. He's said this in the past. So whoever's coaching him on what he should do in this speech, I think this should be kind of one of the core central arguments that he should at least think about more deeply. Number two, the U.S. will create regulatory frameworks that give crypto companies the freedom to build. The reason Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, which are the founders of one of the largest venture capital firms in the country that raised $4.3 billion to deploy into crypto startups, the reason they're voting for Trump over Kamala and the reason they're going Republican over Democrat for the past 20 years, they've been Democrats, is because they are getting no regulatory frameworks from Gary Gensler and the SEC on how to invest in crypto. And as a result of that, they're just thinking that the administration is so unfriendly. Kamala's administration is not looking like it's going to be any friendlier. That is one of the core theses, their reasoning for why they're voting for Trump. So I think Trump needs to say, hey, we're going to give you guys the freedom to actually build crypto companies without like telling you that you guys, without giving you a Wells notice just because you have Ethereum on your platform, aka Robinhood, right? So like the amount of Wells notice the SEC has given out to crypto companies is ridiculous because they're not meeting with those crypto companies when they try to actually meet and get a deal and get some clarity. So I think that's another reason why Trump can go for crypto. Third, the US can buy more Bitcoin and use it as a strategic reserve asset to the dollar. So RFK said he would buy 550 Bitcoin a day if he was elected as president. Obviously, I don't think he's going to win. It would be awesome if he did. That'd be kind of cool, but that's not going to happen. If Trump says something similar to that, Trump actually has a chance to win. I think that could make Bitcoin go crazy. If he says, hey, we're going to buy up to $600 billion of Bitcoin or something in the course of my administration, which, you know, at the end of the day, if it appreciates, it would be not only a good investment, but it would be a reserve to a value to a dollar that is starting to get devalued. So we got to see. We got to see what he says. But if he does say something like that, I do think the broader markets will get excited. Trump is not live yet. Let's switch to RFK so I can show you guys the clip from what he said. And then as soon as Trump is live, if he's actually live at 3 o'clock, might be a little delayed. Then we'll switch to him. But this is what RFK said yesterday.
I intend, as President of the United States, to sign an executive order on day one, directing the Department of Justice and the U.S. Marshals to transfer the approximately 200,000 Bitcoin held by the U.S. government to the United States Treasury, where it will be held as a strategic asset.
That's pretty crazy. Okay, let me go to the conference. I think they're getting ready to introduce him, so let's get to it right now.
It's an idea whose time has come. Bitcoin is an idea whose time has come. So I want to thank the leadership of Donald Trump for coming out, supporting us, supporting our cause. And I also want to give him a special thanks, and I'd like all of you to give him a special thanks for committing to commute Ross Ulbricht's sentence on day one of his administration. This crowd is insane. Let's go. You know, I remember the first Bitcoin conference I went to. There was, I don't know, 800 people there. I think there's 8,000 people in this room. You know, this is a special moment in time. You can feel the energy here. The fact that we have 10 US senators here, we have 2 presidential candidates here. Bitcoin is the future of this country. And it's not a red party thing, and it's not a blue party thing. It's an orange party thing. So with that, I want to show y'all something. You know, who better than the man himself, Donald J. Trump, to lead the Orange Party? But we also wanted to give him a little gift from the Bitcoin community. So I'm holding in my hand a Cassius coin from 2013. Okay, there's one Bitcoin on here. A Bitcoin OG flew halfway around the world to come and deliver this for the president. So on behalf of the entire Bitcoin community, I want to give Donald Trump a Bitcoin, non-custodial Bitcoin, and I want us to officially greet him as a Bitcoiner. So with that, I don't know if he's ready yet. We're going to be joined by the 45th and hopefully 47th President of the United States.
Let's see if he's ready, or if that intro was not a real intro. I do feel bad for them, dude. It's the president. You never know officially if it's on time or not.
Not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's not me.
That's what I thought.
I'm not the president of the United States. Maybe someday. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited. We are just waiting for everything to be ready. Give us a little time. We're going to.
Okay, so I had a feeling that would happen, guys. I think we all had a feeling. It's Trump. I mean, it could be any president. Like, there's no way they're going to be on time for this stuff. So I'll keep an eye on it, and we'll just talk, hopefully, for 5 or 10 minutes until he's ready. Hopefully he's not delayed by like 30 minutes or an hour. If he is, we're going to be talking for 30 minutes to an hour. So I don't know why did he go out and do that, though? If like couldn't he have just gotten some confirmation that like he's not ready yet and then been like, all right, guys, just hold up, versus doing that awkward, like, I think the 45th president is ready. It's like, no, he's not, dude. He is not yet. In the meantime, I will now sing for you. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so we've got to wait and see in terms of what happens. Davis, what's up? Sam, what's up? How much crypto do I have, Amit? I don't have a lot of crypto. My big sort of like play this year on crypto has been Robinhood. I do have a lot of Robinhood, and crypto is a big for Robinhood. It's not the only thing for Robinhood, but if Bitcoin goes up, that will definitely help Robinhood. So that's why I'm interested. But outside of that, I'm also just interested because, I mean, every single person that I respect who's a bull on Bitcoin has said this cycle we're heading closer to 100 to 150. And we haven't really seen that happen yet. Now we're up a lot for the year, but it's not like that explosive level. And really it's because we hit 73 before the halving event. And I think that kind of messed a lot of things up, and the ETFs, you know, it's like so many different things that have been played into this cycle, but we haven't had that momentous burst yet, even though it's crazy because we went from 15 to 65, right, in the course of a year. So I don't think retail's in yet. I don't think, you know, average taxi drivers are downloading Coinbase to buy crypto. Like, I think we still have a ways to go for that. And so with rate cuts coming up, with a potential Trump presidency, with broader liquidity entering the system, I think we still have a run, and that is going to affect the MicroStrategies, the CleanSparks, the Robinhoods, the Coinbases of the world. And so I do think that has a massive implication on the broader stock market. If the NASDAQ is to take a dip like it took this week and we fall 5-10%, then maybe, I don't know how Bitcoin goes up if the NASDAQ doesn't go up. Bitcoin acts like a growth stock. So for Bitcoin to go inverse the NASDAQ, I don't see it happening. So if Bitcoin goes higher, I do think that is a good sign for the broader market. And so I think it has a lot of implications for the rest of the year. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So yeah, we're definitely going to be talking, guys. We're going to be talking for a bit until Trump goes up. So I guess we'll just do Q&A. We'll just do Q&A. We can talk about anything, talk about crypto, stocks, life, whatever, as we're waiting for Bitcoin or for Trump. Amit, what happened to the weekly Saturday Palantir episode? So we didn't do it this week. We're going to do it next week. We're going to do a full earnings preview. This week, there wasn't really that much news, guys, on Palantir. And don't want to do an episode just to force it. Really, not much happened this week. Like there's like really nothing. There's a couple little stories here and there, but not something to really talk about that's meaningful. So this was just a slow news week for Palantir. One of the few, I mean, I think every year now that we've been doing it for 2 years, we probably take like, I'll be generous and say 10 weeks off out of 52 weeks. So 10 out of 52 weeks, there's like not enough news, but there's not many stocks that have 42 weeks of like a lot of news. And if we really wanted to do those 10 weeks, we probably could, but like, yeah, there just wasn't that much news to discuss. Am I streaming earnings? Yes, I'll be streaming every earnings next week. There's gonna be a lot, and I'll be streaming Pound to earnings. What do you think happens to Robinhood price leading up to earnings? I think Robinhood has had such a good run this year that the market is now waiting for earnings to justify their run even more. And so I think this price action we're seeing on Robinhood is really just a little bit of manipulation, and also the street being like, show me the numbers before I really give you 25, 26, 27. And I think we'll get the numbers and they should be good. Now, if August is choppy, which I think August might be a bit choppy, then Robinhood might be stuck in this 21 to 22 range. But I think as rate cuts happen and we kind of melt up towards the end of the year, I also have some charts I wanted to share with you guys around this concept of a melt up based on some technicals and historical factors. Then I think end of the year, Robinhood is above 25 and closer to 30. So I still think we have a pretty good year on Robinhood. What do you think of Wynn Hotel? No opinion on it as a stock. It's from what I understand, it's one of the better businesses that are out there in the hotel ecosystem. I know some funds. I think what's his name? Ross Gerber owns it. Gary Black owns it. So I do think there is some institutional backing of that on the mainstream, but I have not ever looked at the financials. What else do we got? What else do we got? Opinion on Coinbase earnings. I think Coinbase is going to crush. I think they're going to crush because on the App Store, they've been top 10 all past 2 months in finance. Even Robinhood hasn't been as high for the past 2 months. The one concern I have about Robinhood, see right there, Coinbase is at number 15. I think they'll get more users and they'll have more institutional trading volumes, but I mean, I don't know. Coinbase, again, the run was from 30 to 250. The run happened. So if you're buying in Coinbase now, you have to hope Bitcoin goes up. If you bought it at 30, that's where you were playing the Bitcoin game. Now, if you're buying it, you just hope Bitcoin goes to like 100,000. But I don't really see the value in Coinbase given it's done a 7x in a year. Like people forget Coinbase it came from the bottom. But yeah, I don't know if the earnings are going to affect it that much. The one concern I have about Robinhood is that they got rid of the 1% transfer bonus last month in June, which is you could bring your Schwab or Fidelity and they would give you 1% bonus on that. And that helped them get the massive amounts of deposits they got in Q1 and in March and April and May. So I am a little concerned if they're going to be able to put up the same deposit numbers given they got rid of that promotion. But I also think because they added so many members and so many good members in terms of people that are actually putting in a lot of money, not just like random accounts with a couple $1,000, that in their internal sort of dialogues, they're seeing that they're getting enough organic deposits that they don't need to do this 1% promotion anymore. So I guess we'll get more clarity on the earnings, but that's the only concern I have about their deposits going further. Because they're not doing that same, but they also are doing 1% match on gold no matter what, right? They're giving you 1% if you just deposit. It's just not like a transfer 1%. So technically the 1% is still live. It's just not the same exact promotion. So we'll see. But I think Coinbase will do well. I think Robinhood has a little bit more room to run given Coinbase already has run a lot. Most important earnings next week. I think it's if I'm not wrong, Amazon. Next week on Thursday, after hours, Apple, Amazon. Yeah. Thursday is going to be a hell of a day, dude. Right before that is Meta on Wednesday. So really, Meta, Amazon, Apple, those are the big ones. I don't think Microsoft is next. Oh, and Microsoft's on Tuesday, actually. So yeah. So we have all of big tech. We have AMD. We have SoFi. We have PayPal. We got all the energy stocks. We've got a lot next week. We've got a lot. So next week's going to be wild, dude. It's going to be absolutely wild. Christian Soto said 199. Thank you for the super chat for Free Ross. I'm not sure what Free Ross means, but thank you for the $2 super chat. Meta earnings on FOMC. Oh, I forgot. FOMC is next week too. I forgot. Next week's going to be wild, bro. It is going to be wild. Trump's still not there yet. Yeah, we got the Fed, and we got earnings, and we got to see how this plays out. Next week. Amit, what movie did you watch? I did not watch a movie last night. It's so funny. Every Friday on the market close, I say, guys, give me a movie to watch. And then I don't watch a movie. I just don't. I think I tried to watch a movie last night. I don't even remember, but I did not watch any movies. Oh, I did pull up this movie. Hold on. I did. Let me it's with Nicolas Cage. I didn't finish it, obviously, but let me see if you guys watched this before. It's what's it called? It's fucking It Could Happen to You. It Could Happen to You. Have you guys seen that with Nicolas Cage? It Could Happen to You. Oh, Adam just texted me. Free Ross is a guy who's in prison for life. Ross is the creator of the Silk Road. Okay. So that's why Christian said free Ross. Got you. So I think Trump said he would pardon him. Okay, perfect. So that's definitely bullish for the people who care about Ross. Okay. Yeah, it could happen to you with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but let me show you guys this chart I looked at today on small caps. Here's a very interesting chart, okay, implying that the small cap summer might be starting. So this is an interesting one. Take a look at this. This is really interesting. So small caps compared to the S&P. They've broken the 3.5-year trend line against the S&P 500 yesterday. So if you look at small caps against the S&P, so IWM over SPY, and you look at the trend line, there's always resistance at that level, right? The level that I'm just zooming into right here. You see, on Friday, we broke above that level. And so that is, from a technical perspective, that means the market is actually giving some momentum to small caps. And they're giving the momentum over the S&P 500. So this kind of Tom Lee thesis that says, hey, this is the indice that has momentum as we get into a rate cutting cycle. It just seems like he's going to be right on this. And if he is, then he continues to be the guy who understands the markets a little bit better than some other macroeconomists. What else do we have? I'm at doing TA so proud. Dude, I'm really trying to learn it. Next year, I've spent the past couple of days thinking about my 2025 plans. This is the question. What are your 2025 plans? What is your plan for 2025? Trump's still not here yet. We'll probably got to wait another 10 minutes. Because I think now that I know it's not the end of the year, but dude, to me, September through December is the end of the year. Like, first of all, September through December has always made me the most happiest ever since I've been alive. I've been the most happiest just from like a general, like, hey, are you happy or not type of perspective from September to December. I know some people love the summer. Summer is whatever. September through December, October, November, that time frame, that is my favorite time of the year. I think that's the time where you start planning for the next year on certain goals, so that, you know, it's not all happening on January 1st, but you start at least like articulating an idea that you want to have, a goal that you want to get for the next year. I've got a couple goals that I have that I'm going to talk about in depth later. I'm planning them out, and the goal really is to secure what I need to secure over the next 4 months to make sure that we can start effectively in 2025. Like, I literally just started a Google Doc today, started writing out. I went on a long walk today in the morning. I woke up at like 10 a.m. I went out to like a local park and I just walked for a couple hours. And like, I realized I don't listen to music unless I'm on a walk. So today was the first day I listened to music this whole week. Like on Saturday, this morning, I actually just like played music. Otherwise, I'm listening to a podcast or stocks or something. So I definitely think it's a time to game plan for 2025. Trump's still not live yet. Amit, they announced a special guest is on their way to the Bitcoin conference. Okay, cool. I hope it's someone. Elon, bro. If it's Elon, there was a rumor about that. That Elon was in Tennessee. Dude, if it's Elon and Trump, wasn't there someone who tracked his private jet and said he was in Tennessee as well? If it's Elon, everything's going to go crazy, bro. If it's Elon, it's going to go crazy. Okay, so Matt's goal for 2025 is get the next million, refinance one of my house loans. Mari Posa says, I'm ready for spooky season. Me too. It's the best time of the year in October. It's fun. October's a fun one. My 2024 is to master TA under paper gains. Okay, that makes sense. Single family home. That makes sense. Definitely real estate. I know for a lot of people getting their first investment property. I think that's more 2026 goal than a 2025 goal for me. Especially if 2025 goes the way I want it to, then maybe that's closer to 2026. But investment property is probably 2 years away from me versus 2025. Elon is in New Jersey via his private jet tracker. I should hit him up to do a podcast if he's in. I'm here as well. I'm in New Jersey. Adam says, get my health, fitness, abs back. That is a big goal for me as well in terms of health. And, you know, I've had a shitty excuse this year, which is that I've been busy and traveling, which I have, quite frankly. But that's just not an excuse, dude. That's such a horrible bullshit excuse. So that is another big goal as well. But I don't think I have to wait till 2025 for that. I mean, I've already started over the past couple of weeks going back to the gym. I just want to get it to the level where I know I can get it to going into the latter part of the year. But yeah, 2025 health is definitely important as well. He was in Paris last night, really? Dude, that opening ceremony, I haven't watched it, but I've seen clips. It is quite interesting. It is. There is a cultural revolution happening on this planet in so many ways. I don't care about the Olympics at all, dude. I've never the older I'm getting, the more I just like don't give a shit about sports at all. It's weird. I just like not even there's like zero entertainment value for me to watch the Olympics. I don't know. Maybe I'm just growing out of it or whatever. But yeah, I haven't watched any of it. Maybe Elon's on his way to show up to a midstream. Dude, the day we get the Elon pod, I think the Elon pod will happen one day. There's this concept, I think you guys have heard it before, but you're a couple of degrees of separation away from the person that you want to meet. And I don't know. I don't think the Elon podcast is happening anytime soon, but I think if we network hard enough, we can get close to Elon to even have a chance of making it. He has liked a bunch of my posts on Twitter. I think he's like seen my name. He probably does not remember it at all or care. But maybe there's a chance 2025 we get Elon. That would be a fun one. That would be a fun one. You are 10 degrees away from him, bro. Yeah, probably 10, a little bit more than a couple degrees away. What else do we have? The SoFi pump. I hope so, dude. I fucking hope SoFi pumps. If SoFi pumps, I'm selling the 70 options. I have call options. They're already in the money. It's house money because we doubled it last year. So like, it's just, even if it goes to zero, it's not really a loss. But if SoFi pumps to 8 or 9, I think I'm just selling it. And maybe that's wrong because maybe SoFi is going to 12 or 15 by the end of the year, given this whole small cap thesis, which is why I'm hesitant to say I want to sell it on earnings. I don't know, dude. I feel like if it goes to 950 and I sell, I can't be mad at myself if it goes to 10 or 11 because historically it always comes back down after going up. And I would have to really hear on earnings if they say something that finally they've broken across, like Palantir with GAAP profitability, they finally broke across in May of 2023. There was no looking back. I don't know if that's the quarter for SoFi this time. So on a pump, I think I'm out. And I think I at least secure it. The options would be worth like close to 15 grand if it gets like $9. And I think I secure it and I don't risk it to try to get like an extra 10 grand out of it. So let's see. My goal was to meet Amit, and that happens. So it's all downhill from here. I want to meet a lot of you guys in 2025 as well, too. That's another big goal. I absolutely want to meet more of you guys and like talk to you guys next year. I really want to go to Paris for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because this whole Olympic energy is out there. Bitcoin right here, 68,000. I'm going to go to Paris, London, Italy. I want to do a Europe tour, bro. Like I really want to go to Europe and see what's up. Is Dogecoin, you guys saying Dogecoin pumping? Dogecoin, wow, that's up 13 cents. Not bad. That was at 9 cents 3 weeks ago. So there was a good dip there. And then ETH is 3,200 right now. Oh, I definitely want to go to Australia, dude. I absolutely want to go and meet the Aussies. I love Australia. I don't know why I love Australia, but I love it. I love the Australian accent. I absolutely want to come to Australia. Spain and France are way better. Yeah, Barcelona's on the list. I just haven't traveled. I mean, I have traveled in my life. I've been to a lot of states in the United States. I've been to a decent amount of countries worldwide, but like not vacation travel. They were always on some type of work or some type of like, well, in high school I did debate a lot. So it was a lot of like debate tournament stuff, but never like actually just going and seeing the world. What else do we have? What else? Oh, Rumble just sent me the notification. Is he live? He is not live. You know, I was looking at Rumble stock today, and because Rumble is like, it came on my radar because Rumble is like, hey, we're gonna be the official Bitcoin magazine sponsors, whatever. So I just looked at the stock, and dude, the market cap is $2 billion. I was like, oh, kind of cheap, $6, right? I looked at the revenue. They are doing $60 million of revenue a year, and they're worth $2 billion. Like, I think it's egregiously overvalued even at $6, dude. Like, this is kind of stupid. 60 million. They're not even growing either. There's zero growth. Last quarter, they had zero. They were declining. They lost 17 million monthly active users. Like, it was, I don't even understand how it's worth 2 billion, quite frankly. Like, this makes no sense to me. 2.6 billion. They're not going to be profitable for a long time because it's a $6 stock. So I looked at it and I was like, is 1,000 shares crazy? And then I looked at the numbers. I was like, this is bad. It's up a lot this year, I guess, because it was at $3 and people just bought it up. But like, it's up 50% this year. But the numbers are disgusting on Rumble, dude. It is not good. So I don't know. I feel like maybe it pumps with small caps, but it's definitely not from an investment perspective. Say Rise Up Lights. It sounds like Razor Blazes in an Australian accent. Rise Up Lights. Yo, you're right. Rise Up Lights. No, he's right? And it sounds like Razor Blades in an Australian accent. Rise Up Lights. It's not the worst accent, dude. Rise Up Lights. Dude, I love that. I love that, dude. I got to go to Australia. I've got to go to Australia. Also, the women in Australia are beautiful, dude. I don't know. It's Australian women are just gorgeous. Like Margot Robbie. I've seen like these fucking Australian girls pop up on Instagram. I'm like, damn, they're actually beautiful, bro. All types of them. So it would be fun to visit the Aussies. I want to go to Coles as well. I got to see how they're using Palantir in the Coles. So I want to see that. Bought one share of Robinhood at $13.50. LOL, I should have bought 1,000. Yeah, dude, Robinhood is the big play of the year. Robinhood is the big play of the year. I remember when it was $8. I told you guys the story, right? I think I've said it many times, but I called up my boy who lives in California. He was an investment banker. It was like 2 a.m. my time. It was like, 11 p.m. his time. And I was like, dude, I'm thinking of putting a lot of money in Robinhood tomorrow. Their 8K had just come out. Their crypto volumes were up 74% month over month. And I was like, do the numbers with me. So we stayed up for 3 hours. He put in all the numbers, all of his DCFs, all this shit. He was like, dude, fair value looks like if they can just keep up the growth, it's going to be closer to $18. And we were very conservative with the EBITDA multiples as well. And I was like, are you sure you think $18 is fair value? And he was like, I think it looks like it's possible. And the next morning we both dropped so much money. Like that morning I dropped closer to 45,000 into the options. He dropped like same 45, 50 grand. But he sold it. That was when it was $8. He sold it when it got to $12 and he took the profit. And he texted me one day and he was like, yo, I sold it. I was like, why? Like we stayed up for 3 hours for a reason. To we're like $18 is we're not even there yet. And he was like, I just sold it. But he did put it into TNA, which is, I don't know if it's outperformed Robinhood. Well, technically it has because it's triple leverage. So I think he's already outperformed. But now that small caps are doing well, I'm sure his portfolio is doing good. But he got out of it. And so I stayed. I was like, fuck it, I'm in here. And now we've gone way past $18. Now let's just see if we can get to 25. Hood is eating Schwab's lunch. Yeah, I posted a bunch of stuff about them yesterday on Twitter. You guys can check those out. But it looks like they're looking into increasing their premium gold subscription with different features as well. Also, Schwab had a crappy earnings. I mean, they had no growth. And did the stock recover this week? They fell 15% last week. This week, yeah, it recovered about 5%. But over the past month, it's down 10%. Past 6 months, it's up 4%. Year to date, it's down 3%. So not the best performance. But then again, Schwab, it's just so big, dude. I even hesitate to say Robinhood's taking any market share because like they're taking some market share, but Schwab is $9 trillion in assets, bro. It's like not even it's almost uncomparable. Robinhood's sitting here with $100 billion and Schwab is $9 trillion. Now Robinhood's growing more, but like I don't know if like even $1 trillion of that leaves to Robinhood. And if that does, that'll be crazy. But if Robinhood can just get a couple hundred more billion, get closer to 500 billion over the next couple of years, I think the stock will outperform, and the company obviously will be one of the more innovative financial companies out there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Robinhood, but I think this year will be good for them. Amit, if it went from 3 to 6, it's up 100%, not 50%. Yeah, it's up 50% year to date, Jeff, but it's up 100% from the lows. You're correct. Year to date, I'm assuming Rumble started in January. They started out at $4.31. Yeah, that's why they're up 49% year to date. Okay, is Trump here yet? Trump is not here yet. Trump is not here yet. What else? What else do we have? Do you still hold an Enphase? No, I don't hold Enphase. Enphase is just not interesting, man. It's just solar. It's just not as interesting. It's had a tough year. I think it will rebound, but Enphase is just not interesting. Just not interesting yet. Okay, here's another chart I wanted to show as well. Let me see if I can pull it up here. This was a very interesting chart by Ryan Dietrich. So take a look at this. This is again, very interesting chart, but this is one thing we want to keep in mind. So S&P 500, there have been a few times in history where it has cycled from 5% above its 50-day moving average to below its 50-day moving average in 6 sessions, meaning 6 trading days. It's very rare, but every single time that has happened throughout history, 6 months later, the S&P was higher. So the last time this happened was 2018 on February 5th, where it went within 6 days, 5% above or below its 50-day moving average. And 6 months later, you have the S&P up on average. In 2018, it was up 7.6%. On average, it is up about 9.9% in 6 months. So 6 months from now, given we just had that happen a couple days ago, maybe we are going to see potentially 5 to 7% return on the S&P, which would get us closer to, I think that where are we at right now? We're at 545. That would get us closer to 5,800 on the S&P, which would be fun to see. So the technicals for that are looking good, and the technicals for IWM obviously are looking good, given it's just broke above its 3-year trend history against the S&P. Bitcoin 68.6 right now. We are still waiting. Trump is not live. Makes sense that we are delayed because it's Trump. But let's see. Amit, did you see the opening of the Olympics? I did not see the opening of the Olympics. Private jet arriving in Nashville. Is that for Elon? Dude, if Elon's at the conference, it would be crazy. Thoughts on OnStream IPO? I have not looked into OnStream at all. Don't know anything about them, but I will. I do know that, look, Tempest IPO'd. I know Kathy's buying a bunch of that. I do think when we IPO, we're going to see a little bit of a bubble because some of these AI companies, guys, that are popping up. Colin Kaepernick launched an AI company. And I'm reading the TechCrunch article, and it's like you type in a text and it turns into a picture. And he raised $4 million in funding, so you got to imagine the company's worth close to 20 to 25 million on a post money valuation, which is what typically happens on these seed deals. It is feeling a bit ridiculous, some of these companies that are raising money and calling themselves AI companies. And I think if we get to the point where there's so much liquidity that people are willing to buy Databricks or whatever other AI company goes public, we've got you. It's just one thing it's a data point to look at of like, hey, this is where you should be a little bit more cautious on how much excess liquidity is in the system. Because some of these AI companies are just insane, dude. And it's not just me. If you listen to Harry Stebbings, who runs a really good podcast around VC, even he's saying, dude, valuations are getting stupid at this point. And we know AI is like the next big thing. It's not going to be like crypto. Crypto valuations were ridiculous because crypto wasn't really real from a business standpoint. Bitcoin itself is like a store of value. It's totally different from like these crypto tokenized companies that just like weren't really that relevant or had any potential. So the valuations were obviously stupid there. AI is not going to be stupid, but valuations are becoming stupid. And that concerns me because that, like Perplexity, I don't think it's worth $3 billion. And SoftBank just invested at a $3 billion valuation. I don't know, dude. I don't think Perplexity is worth $3 billion. I think Perplexity is not that exciting. So I don't know. We'll see. I think the valuations are getting done. We got Derek in the chat, Mr. Derek Wall. So you guys know Derek, friend of the channel. He's working on a startup. Part of the reason I'm saying that some of these valuations are stupid is because Derek's startup, and I've talked with him about the financials of his startup. I will be an investor in his startup as well, which is going to be really fun. His valuations, given his growth trajectory, I think the startup is like terminally undervalued at the seed stage when they end up raising. Whereas some of these AI companies, I'm looking at them and I'm like, dude, you guys are not going to grow as much as a lot of other companies that are not utilizing AI are going to grow. Primarily because a lot of these companies are just ChatGPT and they put a little fairy dust on top of it. And it's like, that's not like an AI revolution, dude. So I don't know. I do think when we see IPOs, we got to get very skeptical here, because if there's so much liquidity that people are willing to buy fresh AI stocks with no fundamental moat, then maybe we got to be a little bit more cautious of money in the markets. It's because of Derek's start. Derek's working on some cool shit, dude. He's working on some really cool shit. And he is getting some of the biggest investors in the world that want to get on his cap table. So I'm lucky to get a small little part of that cap table as well. I think it'll be one of my best investments ever. I'm saying that right now. I think the new startup I'm investing in Derek's startup, I think it'll be one of my best investments of all time. I really do. Given my conviction on the idea, my conviction around the founder, my conviction around kind of the market opportunity, the TAM they're addressing. It's also not an AI company. I mean, they're going to use AI, but it's not like an AI company. It's like a really cool idea. It's a boring idea. It's not as sexy as some of these companies, but it's just like, it makes so much sense and it works. And I really do think it's going to be one of my best investments, one of my best private investments ever. So we need Derek to take this company public so that I can say that he's going to be my Uber. You know, Jason Calacanis says Uber. Jason Seed invested in Uber. Derek's startup is going to be my Uber. So we need that to play out. But I'm excited for that. And again, it just gives me more context as I'm looking at someone who's building a startup, who's had exits before, who has like the best VCs in the world that want to invest in his company. And I'm looking at the valuation he's picking, like strategically, so that they don't raise so much money at a bad valuation that like shit hits the fan if like they don't meet certain numbers. And then I'm looking at these AI startups and I'm like, how the fuck are they even thinking that they're worth $20-35 million? Like there's just no way. It's just, there's slapped AI and investors got excited. There's a celebrity Colin Kaepernick as like the headline. And so boom, like you give him the money and like, dude, that was happening in the crypto craze. And that's not good. That's not good for the broader market. Trump is still not live yet. Trump's still not live. They're still talking. The robot company, no, it's not the robot company. Figure is not, this is a different company. Derek is not starting a robot company, but I think Figure is going to do very well as well. But I think Derek's startup might be better than Figure, to be honest. In terms of a return on capital, and in terms of the speed at which it returns capital, I think Derek's startup could do better than Figure. Elon jet about to land in Nashville, explaining the delay. Dude, I hope it's Elon. I hope it's fucking Elon. I mean, if it's Elon, this is going to get fun. It's going to get fun. I mean, is it cold where you're at right now? It's cold in my room. It's hot outside, but it's cold in my room. My room is the coldest in the house. That's why I'm wearing a hoodie. But outside, I was sweating a lot today. In the morning, I think I walked like 4 or 5 miles, dude. Like I just walked around my park over and over again. So I was sweating in the morning today. That Trump introduction must be the world record for premature introduction. Yeah, that was so dumb. I don't know why they like, dude, he's like the president. If he's not ready to go, why would you go out and introduce him? Like you could just say, hey, we're waiting on Trump. You don't have to like introduce him and then he's not there. So let's see. If Kamala wins the election, that would be a bear case for Tesla. I don't know, dude. Look, if Kamala wins the election, I don't know if markets will absolutely tank. I think markets will adapt to it. There is going to be some stuff the market likes about a Kamala presidency, which is like lack of trade war with China and tariffs and all this stuff. But I do think Trump winning would explode the markets. I don't know if Kamala winning would tank the markets. Crypto, I don't know. Maybe it would tank crypto because Democrats are just starting to become very anti-crypto and it would just be an uphill battle. But the market, I don't know. I don't know if Kamala tanks the market. It might not help the market a lot like Trump would. But I don't know if it completely tanks it. So we're going to see. In terms of Tesla, I don't know. For Tesla, I mean, she's going to probably not get rid of EV subsidies, so that's probably good for Tesla. But I don't think her administration is going to be that friendly to Elon. So if she wins, the market might tank for like a couple of days or two, like maybe a couple of weeks. That'd be November. But I do think that Santa Claus rally, I don't think anything's stopping that because rates are coming down. And I think the market will adjust very quickly. One thing to understand about the markets, I've learned as well, markets adjust very quickly, dude. Like once they've taken the news, like you'll see a sudden spike up or spike down, and then they kind of just normalize and they move on. So I don't know. I think markets will internalize it and be like, all right, so we got a Kamala presidency. AI is still real. Inflation's still coming down. Rate cuts are still on the way. Like, I think they will normalize against it. However, if Trump does win, they're going to price in so many good things that obviously would be a massive catalyst for the broader market too. So I guess we'll see. We'll see. What else do we have? Junie, thank you for the $2 super chat. Elon is joining Trump on stage. I hope you're right about that. I really do. It's going to be fun if Elon's with Trump on stage, dude. It's going to be very, very fun. It does seem like it's Elon, dude. It does seem like that's the reason. Dude, that's going to break Twitter if it's Elon. Elon or Michael Dell. We know Michael Dell is owned. We know he has personal. There's no way he doesn't have crypto, dude. The amount he's tweeting about it, he definitely has it. It's obviously not on Dell's balance sheet yet, but he definitely has it. Do you think November there will be a sell-off or a rally before the Santa rally? I think if we're gonna see a sell-off in the markets, it's gonna happen like a bad 10% correction, like S&P to 500. I think that would happen in August and September, and then we move on. I don't think that happens in November or October. And so I think we have a month of choppiness to see if it actually happens. I'm not fully sure that happens either. The only reason I think it's going to happen is because we had that bad day on Wednesday, and like it definitely seems like the market's on edge a little bit, and people are more prone to take profits. We just got to make sure earnings are good next week. But if it does happen, like if Meta goes back to 380, like there will be people buying that dip, dude. This is not the same Meta at 380 in 2021 when it was worth $1 trillion and they had no business being at $380. Now Meta at 380, Microsoft at 350. You know, if we have a 10% correction, Google back at 120. Like these are dips that are going to get bought, I think, quickly. And people are not going to be afraid to step in because they're producing free cash flow. They're producing net income. Google just made $23 billion in profits. Like there's just not that many companies like, and this whole like love-hate relationship the market has with, we want you to be an AI company, but you can't spend on CapEx to build AI because then we'll, sell your stock. It's just stupid. Like it's just dumb. At the end of the day, the market knows they have to spend on CapEx for a reason, and they'll get over their small little fears about it. But I think it'll be okay. What do you think Hood fair value is right now? Has to be more than 18. I think it's closer to 25, dude, for the growth. I know people think 25 is a little bit overvalued, but remember they have $5 billion in cash. Also, they authorized the $1 billion in buyback, so it wouldn't surprise me if they bought back some stock this quarter, given we just saw some weakness. But the growth is they're growing 40% year over year. So the growth to me is what justifies a bit of the overvaluation, along with the fact that I think the crypto volumes this month are going to be, Bitcoin went from 53 to 69, right? Like I think the volumes on that are also going to be good, which will be a tailwind. They're going to be profitable. Wolf Research thinks they're going to get $1 of EPS by 2026. The innovations they're putting out are just rapid. They just launched joint investing. They're going to put out tax lots. They are launching that web version of the product, which might be a big competitor to Webull in terms of just like how people trade on their laptops and desktops. I think the momentum's not stopping, dude. And the credit card has yet to really roll out to most people. So it's going to be fun. In fact, let me, while we're waiting, let me show you guys. You guys probably don't know this YouTuber. He's a smaller YouTuber that I discovered, and I'm a very small YouTuber as well. So this guy's like not just getting started, but I think he has like 3,000-4,000 subs. But he's awesome, and he's been making some content around the Robinhood card. Yeah, Brendan Evan. Oh, never mind. He's not. Okay, so he's not 3,000-4,000 subs. He's 30,000 subs, but I think he got a lot of these subs from shorts, which, yeah, it's coming from shorts, which if you know This is why shorts on YouTube are not really the best, because you get subscribers, but they don't really care. Like, that's why people are like, oh, Mitt, why don't you post shorts? It's because shorts they don't convert, and you're not actually getting subscribers that care about your channel. They're just like passively viewing, and they'll press subscribe, but they're not going to be really like caring. So he's a bit of a smaller YouTuber, but he does have subs because of I would assume because of shorts. Now, having said that, he got his Robinhood card, and he made a video on setting it up. And I want to show you a part of the video where he actually shows the transfer of the rewards, which is really cool. And I think that part is going to be user experience that is awesome for most people that get the card. Okay, here it is.
And then there's a really nicely designed reward screen that I think I'm going to be frequenting whenever I actually have rewards to speak of. It reminds us that we're getting 3% cash back on everything. We would get 5% back if we book travel through them. And then there's really easy redemption tools down here at the bottom. Make it simple, make it clear. I love that. It's funny how confusing or how clunky the points redemption sections of normal credit card websites are, or their apps. It's like they clearly meant for this to be a portal by which we can view our statements and maybe buy stuff. But as far as we're actually redeeming the rewards that we're using the credit card for, they make that typically like a lot clunkier and not as nice. So I like that this is like a full feature section of the app. It's like meant to be there. And then here's another new bit of information. We knew before that there would be virtual cards, but we didn't know the details on them. What kind of virtual cards are we going to have? Well, now we know. So the first kind is a standard virtual card. And that for me just means it's a normal card, but I just get to create a new one out of thin air. So I'll have my standard card number that's attached to this, and that'll be what's on my actual physical card. But then if I create a new virtual card, it's like another one tied to the same account, but just with completely unique numbers. And so that could be kind of fun if you had, let's say, a project you were working on. You could put everything on that virtual card number and it would tie everything to that. Or maybe you had like a trip you were planning. You could put everything on that number. You could somehow kind of divide it up however you want. And so I think that kind of thing is really cool because you can just organize your life a little bit. But the really cool ones are these next two. So this one is a free trial card and it auto cancels after 24 hours. I actually just used this on my old X1 card. And if
Bitcoin did just dip for a second. Let me find the part of the video where he actually shows transferring the rewards, because that was the part of the video I wanted. He's going through the virtual cards right there. There's a part where he shows you how you slide the button and it legit, oh, I think this is the one. It legit goes to your brokerage. That part is the really cool part. Oh yeah, here it is. It was a separate video. Sorry. Here it is. Okay, this is the right one. Bitcoin right now is at 68,000. Yeah, we just got a red candle right there. Fell 600 points. Still waiting for Trump, not live yet. So we'll wait. Okay, here's the part I want to show.
1,020 points, something like that. Oh yeah, there we go. 1,021 points. That is correct. So it tells us our current points balance, also our lifetime points balance. So you know how much benefit you've gotten from the card overall. And then super fast, let me get right into the redeeming of this within the app. Make it simple. Let's say, for example, I want a statement credit. So far, only $7 worth of things has settled. Let's experiment with the statement credit and see what kind of redemption value we get. It looks like, of course, we're not going to get as high a value as if we trade this in for something like gift cards, because 1,020 points, we're only getting $7.14. So if it was worth 1 cent per point, we should be getting $10.20 worth of value. We're only getting $7.14. Redeem points for cashback, earn 5% annually on cashback, or invest it commission free. I don't understand that 5% number.
So the 5% is the APY, but as you can see right there, you're literally sliding your money from 525 points into cashback. And I think that experience is just never going to get old for people. 925 points, 925. So I think that's going to be exciting for people. I think it's going to be really exciting for people. And as they transfer their points into cash back, it's just going to be more momentum to put deposits back into the product, which is going to help Robinhood. So if you guys want to watch the full video, I'll put it right here. But that's the part that I think that experience is never going to get old, dude. When you have 20,000 points just sitting there and you transfer it and $200 goes into your brokerage, that is going to be cool. And then you're getting 5% on that 200 in your brokerage. All right, so Bitcoin, yeah, just took a little fall right there. I guess we're still waiting for Trump, and the markets are a little worried still until Trump talks. Dude, if it's actually Elon, what is Twitter saying? I'm pretty sure Twitter's freaking out because Trump's at this point an hour late. What is Twitter saying? Here's the line for Nashville. So we got a bunch of people waiting in line already. That's a lot of people for this Bitcoin conference. A lot of them probably care about Trump. Dude, it's gonna be an interesting election. Like a big majority of the country wants Trump to win. So let's see. Twitter's saying Elon's in Nashville. Is that what they're saying? Really? Is it Elon Nashville? Yeah, they're saying I think they're saying his jet's in Nashville, dude. Oh boy, dude, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be so crazy. If Elon's actually there, I'm not counting on Elon being there. I don't want to get my hopes up, but if Elon's there, it is going to be crazy. Thomas says, I feel like Meta is going to announce something during their EC. Could see it being a stake in a fashion company or something like that, but I think there'll be a little surprise. Yeah, I think they are getting interested in the luxury glasses and luxury fashion brands. So maybe Zucks does a strategic partnership or acquisition there. I think Meta's going to crush, though. I think all these earnings are going to be good. Like, remember in 2022, I remember I was at my job, it was a client I was at, and there was Meta fell from 320 to 240 while I was like doing work, and I just saw after hours how bad it was. I don't think we're at that stage of the market. Like 2022, there was a different feeling in the air with these companies. They were obviously, Netflix fell from 700 to 150. Like things got bad, right? I don't think that's happening right now. We're just at a different point of the markets, and so I think we've got some time. Until we see that. I think we probably will get that, but maybe that's in a few years, not right now. Trading volume in Coinbase is greater than Robinhood. No way trading volume in Coinbase. So the thing is, Robinhood did about 64% of Coinbase's trading volumes last quarter, which was really good, and it was exciting. But I don't know if, they were able to do more than Coinbase this time. If they weren't, then, Coinbase will still be ahead on that point. But they did do a lot of they did ensure a ton of trading volumes on their platform. The thing about Coinbase is they have the institutional trading volumes, right? So that's the one that's a bit different from Robinhood. How does Robinhood approval work for the card? I'm not sure. They have a process for underwriting your credit. They are giving more credit than the average card, is what I'm seeing. So people are getting like 2x more than they've got before. I think Robinhood has a bit of a master plan here in terms of how they're thinking of credit and underwriting and that process. I don't know what that is. I did speak to a credit expert a couple of weeks ago, and we went through like some financial modeling, and he said, seems like what Robinhood's doing is using the deposits to kind of subsidize a little bit of the loss leading, which makes sense to me, along with the gold fee. So the number one thing for them is they just want more deposits, and more deposits is kind of the lifeline of their business. Coinbase does like 1/8 of Binance. Yeah, Binance is still the real king. Binance has been along. If CZ had just like not done illegal things, CZ would be in a much better spot. Clearer regulation means Hood can offer more coins. That could be bad for coin and good for Hood. Yeah, if Trump wins and he's like super pro crypto, Solana can come back to Robinhood. We had Solana for a while, and then Gary Gensler started becoming annoying, and then we got rid of it. Solana is the third largest crypto behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. And so all that revenue goes straight to Coinbase, not Robinhood, because we can't allow Solana to be traded. But hopefully that does happen. All In Podcast talked about Palantir. Yeah, let me show that clip. I posted that on Twitter yesterday. As we're waiting, we can talk about that. So here's the clip where the All In Podcast meant. I'll give you the full context after you guys watch the clip. Here it is.
You have it. Deep state. Tinfoil hat.
Deep state.
Deep state
I was
accusations.
gonna wear a
or-
tinfoil hat today. I forgot.
You believe what you want. That's what I
I
do.
don't. This is the first time hearing about it. I don't have my tinfoil hat here, but who knows? I guess.
Use their products if you want to. Use their
Okay,
products if
there
you
you
want
have it,
to.
folks. And Sachs puts his endorsement behind Palantir. Definitely not deep state Palantir.
No, Palantir. Look, there's no question that Palantir sells into the deep state, but
Yes.
I don't know that makes it deep state.
Well, I mean, they're on your team as opposed to the other team. So
No,
that's all that matters.
no, hold on. I'm not on any team in respect. I don't really understand what you're saying there.
I'm just goofing.
I have shares in the company. I think it's a good investment.
Oh, okay. There you have it. All right, let's go to the stock market and just there you have it.
Okay, so I don't think it was a direct diss to Palantir. They're more so making the argument that CrowdStrike, David Sachs had this argument on the podcast that CrowdStrike is like a deep state company. There's a whole rabbit hole to go through there. I don't really know as much about that, but that's what he believes. And so Jay Cal is like, okay, that's a ridiculous take if you're invested in Palantir over CrowdStrike, right? Because Palantir is also deep state. So that was kind of the premise of the joke. Obviously, Palantir works heavily with governments and institutions. There's a different sort of connotation of deep state. Deep state doesn't mean you're selling to the government. Deep state means you're colluding with the government, essentially, right? You're like a shadow government. I don't think Palantir is that type of a company. So that's why those guys were laughing. I think the disrespectful part there was when he said, it's your team. Because at that point, he's basically saying, it's your team. You're on the conservative Trump side. And so Palantir is the conservative Trump company. Therefore, it's on your team, the Peter Thiel team. Therefore, it's not deep state, it's a slight jab. It's a joke. It's not even really that disrespectful, but it is a little bit of a joke. We know that Palantir has thrived under any administration. It's not just because of Trump, and they've done very well under the Biden administration. They did really well under the Obama-Biden administration. So that's where it's a little bit of a jab. And I think Sachs is just like, what are you talking about? It's not my team. I believe in the company, but there is a difference between what I think of CrowdStrike as being deep state, where he could be right or wrong about, but that's a certain conception of deep state versus Palantir. It was kind of funny though, because it was 3 against 1, and it's just weird. I don't think J. Cal Friedberg and Chamath hate Palantir or have any ill will against Palantir. J. Cal interviewed Shyam Sankar a couple months ago, so I would imagine he understands Palantir. It's just weird because Peter Thiel invested in Chamath's VC fund, Social Capital, in the first round in 2011. He gave him some of the initial funding to start that VC fund, and it doesn't seem like there's that much loyalty between Chamath and Peter. Chamath has said in the past, someone said, "Hey, are you using Palantir for your new company?" And Chamath was like, "Fuck no" on Twitter. Kind of like this weird, why are you so aggressive towards, someone asking a basic question around Palantir? It's like, it is very weird how they think about the company. Maybe they don't like Karp. Maybe they don't like Peter Thiel. Sachs, obviously one of Peter Thiel's friends, so he's probably more supportive of it. But I don't know. I kind of like that they were laughing. I like that it's a little bit more of the underdog. Palantir is supposed to be a contrarian bet, so most people aren't supposed to get it. And so I guess we'll just see. No, your team has an investment, just like not Team Snowflake. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was really that much of a jab, but it kind of felt like a jab if you're looking at it from one perspective, but I don't think it was meant to be like a real big jab at Palantir. The larger point is that billionaire David Sachs is invested in Palantir. Yeah, honestly, I thought he was, but I'm happy we finally got confirmation that he was, because he's boys with Peter Thiel. How are you not going to have shares in your boy's company, right? Like if that's your boy, you're gonna have some you're gonna, because the thing about investing with friends, and when your friend starts something, is you don't want your friend to be super successful and you don't have any equity in their shit. That's why it's like, when I get to the point where I can really start angel investing with my own capital, and I can start writing 25,000 checks to lots of companies. If my friend, a good friend, starts something, I'm gonna have to give them money, dude. Because what if they pull it off? They're not gonna be there. They can't brag to me in the next 10 years. Haha, your 25,000 could have been 10 million. It's like, no, dude, I gotta give them the money. So if I have a really good friend who's really passionate and I believe they're really gonna work their ass off, I'm probably writing them a check, dude. I'm not gonna wait till they go public to buy the shares. So it makes sense that he owns Palantir. Now the question is how much? Is it tens of millions? Is it, hundreds of thousands? It'd be interesting to see what he would say. Don K says, I listened to the whole pod today. They were definitely laughing about him calling CrowdStrike deep state and called out Palantir investment as a contradiction. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that as well. So they definitely just were busting his balls a bit. MK says, please stop working on the weekend. I'm busy but addicted to your content. Thank you for being here, MK. We're waiting for Trump. We are waiting for Trump. It's basically turned into another market open, market close, right? It's like in just an hour of me talking into the mic as we wait for Trump. It's a good thing I have some experience in doing that. And so now we just wait. All right, what else do we got? So if I have crappy credit and I have 30K invested, I'll get approved. So Robinhood's not using your brokerage assets to collateralize your credit line. I think they will in the future, but they're not. So you probably wouldn't get, if you have like a 400 credit score, you're not going to get you're not going to get a big credit line. But they're using your income and a variety of other factors, but they're not using your brokerage assets. At least that's what they said they're not using. But I think eventually they will. Elon landed in Memphis International. Dude, imagine we have to wait another 2 hours because Elon has to get to the conference if he's actually in Memphis. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. A YouTuber's worst nightmare is an hour delay of a live stream. Yeah, for me, it's just like, all right, this is just another Monday morning to me. We got to start talking, baby. It's a good thing I like to talk. There's something about talking, dude. I just I don't know. Someone said I'm a professional yapper. And I like doing that. By the way, the Bitcoin stream is officially off. It just died on YouTube. So maybe they're trying to, it's just dead. Look at this. Everyone's spamming F in the chats. Look at that. It's dead. Dude, we gotta wait. It had 45,000. Now it has 29,000. People just left. So they're probably gonna get the stream back up. Dude, this is gonna be an important speech. They're fucking making us wait for this shit. And so this is gonna be an exciting one. Sonny, what's up in the chat? Sonny Coates. Sonny, you've been in Bitcoin for a long time, right? Sonny is a early end phase investor. He's been in end phase for a while. So same with Enovix and same with Palantir. I think he's been in Palantir since like $8-9 or whatever. So Sonny, I do think you own a decent amount of Bitcoin, but let me know. Did you watch anything last night? No. Oh no, I said I tried to watch this movie on Netflix with Nicolas Cage. It's about a lottery ticket. It's like a rom-com, I think. It's what's it called? It Could Happen to You. It Could Happen to You. That's the name of it. By the way, I think Squid Game is the best show Netflix has ever produced. I watched a little bit of that last night, just like a little bit of the first episode. I watched it a couple years ago, but I think Squid Game, quite frankly, is the best. Oh, Trump's on. All right, the conference is not live. Where? Okay, let me try to get a different stream. Trump live. Let me try to get. Oh, they have a different one. Okay, I'm pulling it up. Hold on one sec. All right, we're live. We're going. Here we go. We're live. Here we go. Here's Trump. Okay, I think he's going to start. I turned the audio off real quick, guys, because there's music. We don't want to get our stream sniped because we have music. So once the music stops, we will replay it. Bitcoin currently 68,278, recovering a little bit of it. Trump's just standing there. Yep, there's Trump. Again, I'm going to turn the audio on once the music is done. Otherwise, the stream might get swiped. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. The music always messes up something. All right, so there he is. There's Trump. There is it's AI. There he is. He's just standing there. That's Trump, right? Yeah, that's really Trump. There he is. That's Trump. That has to be Trump, right? Is that fake? That's not fake. That's Trump. Hold on. That's definitely Trump. It is kind of weird. Why is he just standing there, though? Let me see if I can get another stream. Yeah, the Bitcoin stream is nuked. That's not working. Oh, no. He's live. Here we go. Here he is.
It's good to be with you.
All right, we're live, guys. We're live.
So, Secret Service just told me, sir, would like a little more time. I said, you take all the time you want. You can take 2 hours, 3 hours, the hell with the people that have been waiting out here. But I'm sure they don't mind either. But it is a great honor. And a lot of things are happening in the world. We just heard, you probably heard, that Israel was just attacked, very severely attacked. And Hezbollah looks like. And this is things that won't happen. I mean, you just can't. They have to respect us. They cannot do this. What they did just now with that attack is terrible. Just happened. And so to all God bless everybody. This is so serious. They have to respect our country. This would never have happened with us, and we just cannot let it continue. So we just wish them all a lot of luck. This happened to us as I'm walking on the stage. Most of you have heard about it, but it's a terrible thing. But I'm thrilled to be here in Nashville to become the first American president ever to address a Bitcoin event anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. I want to thank David Bailey for inviting me. Special guy. You know, this whole love affair sort of started. David, about 4 months ago, was at Mar-a-Lago. I took a picture with him. I mean, he's a nice looking guy. He's okay. He's out here someplace. But I took a picture. It got published, Trump and David Bailey. All of a sudden, your industry went through the roof. So, David, congratulations. Whatever the hell you do, you did a hell of a job. But as well as all of the Bitcoin luminaries and legends here, you have legends in this room. They really are. Congratulations. Would the legends please stand up? Oh, everyone's standing anyway. That's nice. I used to say, sit down, everybody, sit down. But it's nice when they stand, including Tyler and Cameron. Do you know who that is? Winklevoss. These are great guys. They look like male models with a brain, you know? They're male models with a big, beautiful brain. Michael Saylor is here. Kathy Wood. Ron Paul and Rand Paul are here. Vivek is here. Vivek Ramaswamy. Where's Vivek? Where are you, Vivek? There he is. He's great. A man that I call Bob, but you probably know him as Kid Rock. Where's Kid Rock? Where is he? He's great. He's a good guy and a talented guy and another talented guy. He was so incredible. This one, he went and he played at the funeral of a great fireman who was killed, fire chief, killed a week and a half ago at the rally. And Billy Ray Cyrus went and played music for the family, and it was supposed to be so incredible. I've heard so many things about it. And Billy Ray Cyrus is here. Where's Billy Ray? He's around here someplace. And he's great. He's a conservative guy. Said, how did you get such a liberal daughter? How did that happen, Billy Ray? And by the way, Kid Rock was incredible at the convention. You probably saw him. You saw him? He was great. He was great. Another one, Jake Paul. You don't want to fight this guy. You know, you don't want to fight. He's got a big fight coming with Mike Tyson, but he's glad he didn't fight Mike when Mike was 19. He told me that today. But he's a fantastic guy, very talented guy in a lot of ways. Governor Joe Lombardo, who's fantastic, and we're doing well in his state. And he's going to make sure that there's no hanky-panky going on. And if that happens, we're going to win his great state. But you know who he is, and he's a fantastic governor. Senators Bill Hagerty, Marsha Blackburn, Cynthia Lummis, Tim Scott. And Tim was great. Boy, I'll tell you, he was such a strong voice for me. He was on so many shows and did such a great job during the primaries. He was incredible. I want to thank him. Special guy. They're all special people. They're warriors. Tommy Tuberville. You know Tommy Tuberville, senator from Alabama. And you have many members of Congress, Andy Ogles, Thomas Massey, John Rose, Mark Green and French Hill, and the next U.S. Senator from Ohio. I hear he's doing very well, Bernie Moreno. Where is Bernie? I hear Bernie's doing well. The great Laura Loomer. Some of you know Laura. She's a fantastic person, great woman. And a tremendous developer from New York and Florida, one of the best, Steve Witkoff, and he's got his son Alex with him today. That's an incredible family, development family. They've been supporters from the beginning. Howard Lutnick, Cantor Fitzgerald, incredible, one of the truly brilliant men of Wall Street. and a whole group of his distinguished guests and a lot of our distinguished guests. We have a lot of other people here, and I won't bother anymore. That's enough, because we have to talk about crypto. We have to talk about Bitcoin. We have to talk about all these great companies.
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go.
But our country is blessed to have the extraordinary talent, energy, and genius represented in this room. It really is great genius. Not all of you, but most of you, many of you. But this is the kind of spirit that built America, and this is the spirit that's going to help us make America great again. That's what we're doing. I stand before you today filled with respect and admiration for what the Bitcoin community has achieved. It's incredible, actually. I sort of say to my sons, it's like incredible because they know so much about it. They're so aware of it, much more so than people that are a little bit older. But I say this is the steel industry of 100 years ago. It really is. I think you're just in your infancy. I can see it happening. In just 15 years, Bitcoin has gone from merely an idea posted anonymously on an internet message board to being the 9th most valuable asset anywhere in the world. Can you believe that? Is that right? That's a big deal. Think of that. It's already bigger than ExxonMobil. Soon it will be surpassing the entire market cap of silver. It's not bad. How about gold? How about gold? Let's go gold. And one day it probably will overtake gold, but based on the way it's going now, it could very well be a possibility. There's never been anything like it, and I don't think you've ever seen anything like it. And most people have no idea what the hell it is. You know that, right? So what happens when they figure it out? That's going to really be something. Bitcoin is not just a marvel of technology. As you know, it's a miracle of cooperation and human achievement. A lot of relationships that are formed. I just did a meeting, a roundtable with a lot of the leaders, and it's amazing. There's a great camaraderie. It's really interesting. There's competition, but there's a relationship. There's a friendship that's developed with a lot of these people. I noticed it. I don't usually see that too often. I see the opposite, actually. They want to get each other. They want to kill each other. These guys have a great feeling. Very smart people, too. Congratulations on all that you've accomplished. This room is amazing. The people in this room, high IQ individuals. I'm running against a low IQ individual, her. I'm not even talking about him, her. I got a low IQ individual. The reason I've come to address the Bitcoin community today can be summed up in two very simple words: America first. Because if we don't do it, China's going to be doing, others are going to be doing it. Let's do it and do it right. My vision is for an America that dominates the future. We have the best economy, the highest standard of living, the safest and most beautiful cities. And by the way, when I say safest, our cities are going to hell right now. Our cities are going to hell. We're going to fix our cities. We're going to work with Democrats that have destroyed our cities, but we'll work with them, and we're going to get our cities back. We're going to bring our country back. And we really were the freest and the most ambitious, most dynamic nation ever to exist on earth, and we're going to get that back again, because we're not there now. We're a nation in decline. You know it. We know it. Doesn't sound nice, but it's okay, because we're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back fast. Right now, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing what's happened. Even today, when you look at what we just said, that would never have happened if they respected our country. If we don't embrace crypto and Bitcoin technology, China will, other countries will. They'll dominate. And we cannot let China dominate. They are making too much progress as it is. And we want them to be successful. I don't want China to be successful, but we have to be the most successful. That's what's gonna happen. I want the United States to be first in technology, first in science, first in manufacturing, first in artificial intelligence, and first in space. You know, at MIT, my uncle was a professor there, Dr. John Trump. He would have fit in with this room very nicely, actually. That's why I mention it. And I believe he was the longest serving professor in the history of MIT. He graduated. We have a very intelligent family, actually. He graduated tremendously. I think he has 3 different degrees, but they said, would you like to stay on, John, and be a professor? Well, I've got a lot of offers, I assume he said, but I've got a lot of offers. Well, he was there for, I believe, 41 years. When I was in the White House, the head of MIT came to see me, and they presented me with a book on my uncle. He was a legendary guy in the academic world and in the world of MIT. So I understand a lot about what you're doing, and I have great respect for highly intelligent people. And you are highly intelligent. America's destiny is to lead our rivals in everything and to surrender our industries to no one, to no one. You know, some of you are involved with AI, but you also have the same thing. You need a thing called electricity. You need a lot of electricity. You know, AI needs to be really dominant, and China can do it much easier. We have environmental impact statements to do, but we're going to do things that nobody thought were possible. You need tremendous amounts of electricity. You need double the electricity of the entire electricity that we have right now in the United States to dominate. And we'll get that done. Who would think we can get that done? But we're going to get it done. We'll be having power plants built at the sites. We'll be releasing people from certain ridiculous requirements. And we'll be using fossil fuel to make electricity because we're going to have to. We'll be using nuclear. We'll be doing it in an environmentally friendly way. But we will be creating so much electricity that you'll be saying, please, please, President, we don't want any more electricity. We can't stand it. You'll be begging me, no more electricity, sir. We have enough. We have enough. You know, in the Midwest, they just opened, it was very interesting. They just opened up 2 chargers, you know, a charger for the electric cars. And you know, I love Elon. He's great. He endorsed me and great endorsement and everything else. But not everybody has to have an electric car. I told him that. So we're going to get rid of that mandate, if you don't mind. Some people want gasoline-propelled cars. Some people want a hybrid. And some people like an electric car. They're great. I think they're great. I think what he's done is great. And I think he understands it. I guess he probably wouldn't have endorsed me. He knows where I am on this. But he did. And it's just like they did these chargers in the Midwest. There are 8 of them. They spent $9 billion to build 8 chargers to charge up a car. And at that rate, it would cost approximately $12 trillion to put the chargers around. Somehow that's not working. The country would have to file for Chapter 11. We'll do a chapter, you know, it's called Chapter 7 instead of a Chapter 11, but it's the equivalent. No, we have to use our brain. We have to be, we are the party of common sense, okay? We have to have common sense. But what we do have to do is we have to produce tremendous electric for AI and for all of the other things, including the things that you're doing. And we'll get it produced, and we're going to get it produced fast, or we're not going to be able to compete with China and other countries. So we're going to get it produced fast. This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon. I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me. You're going to be so happy. You're going to say he's the greatest guy. That's why I'm proud to be the first major party nominee in American history to accept donations in Bitcoin and crypto. And they've made a lot of them, I might tell you, and I appreciate it. Since we made that announcement on May 21st, we have already raised $25 million, much of it in Bitcoin, crypto, and others that are very, very good also. But as you know, our excitement about the future of Bitcoin and crypto could not be more difficult from the approach of our opponents. Can't be, look, our opponents have gone a difficult route. They're going old-fashioned stuff. We're going to take it right down the middle. We're so different from anybody else in terms of a campaign. First of all, we understand it. They don't understand it. They are blocking your path. They're blocking your way. But I've made it a lot easier for you because the SEC has been very, very tough on you. And now they see that you've embraced me. All of a sudden, people that were under investigation, they're being let go. They're saying, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We love crypto. Let me tell you, if they win this election, every one of you will be gone. They will be vicious. They will be ruthless. They will do things that you wouldn't believe. But right now, because of me, they're leaving you alone. So please say thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much. And the reason they're doing that is I've heard from some of your great geniuses that talk to me about this subject. I've heard from Vivek. 175 million people in some form are involved with this world of crypto and Bitcoin and all of the others, 175 million. So when they heard that, they said, let's be nice to them, at least until after the election. So I've taken a lot of pressure off a lot of people. A lot of people are very happy today that about 3 months ago weren't so thrilled. For 3.5 years, is that right? Look, he just said that's right. And you know it's right. For 3.5 years, the current administration has waged a war on crypto and Bitcoin like nobody's ever seen before. For those who work in this industry, they target your banks, they choke off your financial services. Have people seen that? Yes? Yeah, they have. Plenty of hands up. They block ordinary Americans from transferring money to your exchanges. They slander you as criminals. But that happened to me too, because I said the election was rigged. He said the election was rigged. He should spend the rest of his life in jail for making that statement. Of course, they say it about us, and it's okay, right? No. And by the way, we're doing very well in the election. We lost a candidate recently, crooked Joe Biden. And I thought, we lost this wonderful person. He's actually a terrible human being, if you want to know the truth, so don't feel sorry. And we have he's a worse human being. And I sort of made an analogy last night. Last night, think of this, I was speaking in front of a very powerful and very strong, very religious group, Christians, evangelicals, Christians. And then today I come in front of Bitcoin, and now I'm going to Minnesota to do a rally. You think my life is so great, don't you, huh? But I cover a lot of territory. I go from religion to Bitcoin to a rally. And I don't get it mixed up like other people do. Where they come out and they say, may God bless everybody involved in the Bitcoin world. But actually, we mean that because you need blessing, because you've got to do something very spectacular. But we had an incredible time last night talking to Christians, largely Christians, a Christian group. And this is so great. And then we have a very big rally in Minnesota. Hasn't been one since 1972. Richard Nixon, can you believe it? And I think we're leading Minnesota. But there's some hanky-panky that goes on in Minnesota. But I think we're doing good. So we're going to leave here. We're going to go there for a big rally. But this is such an honor to be with you. Sadly, when we see the attacks on crypto, it's a part of a much larger pattern that's being carried out by the same left-wing fascists who weaponize government against any threat to their power. They've done it to me. Did you see I just won the big case in Florida? Thank you very much. The big case. Thank you very much. Good. Now it's a big case. That was the document case. I have Presidential Records Act on my side. Biden didn't. By the way, Biden, they said, here's what they said. They said, he's guilty as hell, but we're not going to charge him because he's incompetent. I won the case the old-fashioned way. It's called you win. I wouldn't have wanted to win the way he won. Trump won the case because they called him incompetent. Think of this. So they called him incompetent. So he's incompetent to run for trial, to stand trial, but he's not incompetent to run the country. How does that work? But he's not doing it anymore because he didn't do particularly well in the debate. Did anybody watch the debate? Not too many people. Somebody said to me, "You did horribly in the debate." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because there's no way he can continue forward. That's how bad he was." I said, "I understand that." And that's exactly what happened, actually. We had a great debate. It was a tremendous debate, actually. And since then, hey, look, you have to open the eyes. You have to see what's going on. We have a country to run. The problem is that Kamala is worse than Joe. She's worse. She's a radical left lunatic, defund the police, all of the different things. And so far she's got a little honeymoon going on right now. But when people hear about her, and she's against crypto, by the way, and she's against it very big. So I just want to let you know, you got to get out. You got to get out and vote. It should be no surprise that these same totalitarians are hell-bent on crushing crypto and obliterating, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they are stated. They're there right now. You have the SEC, you know what they're doing, obliterating Bitcoin. The reason could not be more clear, because Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from government, coercion, and control. The Biden-Harris administration's repression of crypto and Bitcoin is wrong, and it's very bad for our country. It's really quite un-American. As you know, 6 days ago, we officially defeated the worst president in the history of the United States. I believe he was the worst president in the history of the United States. Think of it. Millions and millions of people have come into our country. They've come in from jails. They've come in from, think of it, insane asylums, mental institutions. They've come in as terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now. The same people that you just heard about from Israel, that did that in Israel, they're coming in and nobody checks them. Nobody knows what's going on. We have no idea what's going on. They've lost control of our country, and only bad things can happen. So it's not going to be that way. We're not going to let that happen. We're beating them, and we're beating them badly, and we have to make sure that we do. We need to do it for our country. And you can't just be a fighter and have your man lose the fight, or woman, but in this case, a man. He's losing the fight. He's down by 15, 16, 17 points. They say that you're not going to win, Joe. You got to get out. He didn't want to get out. He said, "I'm not getting out." He said, "You're getting out." He said, "I'm not getting out. I got 14 million votes. I'm not getting out." They said, "If you're not getting out, we're going to institute the 25th Amendment on your mental competence." He said, "Like I said before, I think I'm going to get out." Okay? And they got him out. But it's like, think of this. You fight, you're in a campaign. You spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and he's losing. And then they say, "Let's take him out of the fight. We'll put a new fighter in there." The new fighter is her, probably my second choice. He will always be my first choice, but she'd be my second choice. And again, if we don't win this race, and I know you're not that political, but you have to be political because your whole thing, I mean, you have a lot of politics involved in what you do. If we don't win this race, this country could be finished as we know it. This country is going to be in bad shape, and we have to be in there. We have to fight, and we have to win. And I pledge to the Bitcoin community that the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will end. It'll be done. It'll be done. The moment I'm sworn in, the persecution stops and the weaponization ends against your industry. And as long as I'm in the Oval Office, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, do you remember? Yes, I'm an Indian. She said, "I'm an Indian." "Why are you an Indian? You don't look like an Indian." No, my mother told me I have high cheekbones." Oh, that's why she was an Indian. So I named her Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren and her goons, and she's very nasty to you. She hates your people. She hates everything about you. Will keep their hands off Bitcoin. They're going to keep their hands off crypto. They're going to let it grow. We're going to let it grow. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman.
Okay, that's the news. That's the news. He's going to fire Gary Gensler. At least we got something. At least we got something there. That's what the crowd wanted.
I didn't know he was that unpopular. Wow. I didn't know he was that unpopular. Let me say it again. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa. I will appoint a new SEC chairman who believes America should build the future, not block the future, which is what they're doing. And Kamala Harris wants to make him Treasury Secretary. That's not good. That's not good. He was Hillary Clinton's finance person. Did you know that? Crooked Hillary. Remember Crooked Hillary? Do you remember her? Anybody remember? He was the finance chairman of Hillary Clinton's campaign against a gentleman known as Donald Trump. Not a popular person within the... Actually, she came to my wedding. Do you know that? To our great First Lady, Melania. She came to our wedding, and Bill came to our wedding. But it's amazing things when you run for office, a lot of things change in your life. A lot of things change. As president, I will immediately shut down Operation Choke Point 2.0. They want to choke you. They want to choke you out of business. We're not going to let that happen. And no longer will your government sit by and watch as Bitcoin jobs and businesses flee to other countries because America's laws are too unclear and too tough and too angry and too stiff. We will keep each and every Bitcoin job in the United States of America. That's what we're going to be doing. Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory council. Would anybody like to be on that particular council? Please raise your hand.
That's big news. Crypto Council. That seems interesting.
Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days. We will have regulations, but from now on, the rules will be written by people who love your industry, not hate your industry, people that want to make it clear and simple, straightforward and fair, people that want to see your industry thrive, not dive. Next, I will immediately order the Treasury Department and other federal agencies to cease and desist all steps necessary because, you know, there's a thing going on in your industry. They want to move the creation of a central bank digital currency. It's over. Forget it. CBDC. There will never be a CBDC while I'm president of the United States. And I will always defend the right to self-custody. Self-custody. You're going to have a great industry. You're going to have a great industry, and we're going to be fuel for your industry, not demolish your industry. America will once again be a nation that protects property rights, privacy, freedom of transaction, freedom of association, and freedom of speech. We're going to change we're going to go back to the old days when we were a nation that was building, not a nation that was eating itself alive from within. As part of our effort to provide regulatory clarity, we will create a framework to enable the safe and responsible expansion of stable coins. Do you know what a stable coin is? Does anybody know? Please raise your hand. Allowing us to extend the dominance of the US dollar to new frontiers all around the world. America will be richer, the world will be better, and there will be billions and billions of people brought into crypto economy and storing their savings in Bitcoin. So that's the way it is. That's pretty much the way it is. Those who say that Bitcoin is a threat to the dollar have the story exactly backwards. I believe it is exactly backwards. Bitcoin is not threatening the dollar. The behavior of the current U.S. government is really threatening the dollar. The danger to our financial future does not come from crypto. It comes from Washington, D.C. It comes from trillions of dollars in waste, rampant inflation, and open borders while giving welfare and free health care to all of the illegal aliens that are pouring into our country by the millions and millions and millions. It comes from printing hundreds of billions of dollars to fund endless wars overseas while our cities are like combat zones here at home. 2 weeks ago in Chicago, 117 people were shot and 17 died. Afghanistan doesn't have anything like that. You know, you think about tough places. Look at what's happening with our cities. What's happening in the last 3 years, last 3.5 years. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Think of it. 117 over 4th of July weekend. 117 people were shot and 17 died. This is the United States of America? I don't think so. By the way, when I was president, we had no wars. We had no new wars. We didn't start it. Remember when Hillary said, he'll start wars. Look at his personality. No, I said, my personality will keep us out of wars. But we finished off some of the old ones like ISIS, which they said would take 5 years to do, maybe more. We did it in 4 weeks. We beat ISIS in 4, because we have a great military. And it's not a woke military, by the way. Maybe some of the people on top are woke, but this is not a woke. I got to see that first when I looked at what they did and what they did for me, they were unbelievable. They did things that nobody thought were possible. Our real generals and our soldiers, there's no woke. They're trying to get them to be woke, but these people are not going to go woke. I can guarantee you that. With your support this November, we will restore confidence and we will restore common sense to our nation's capital. Because ultimately, it is about, it's not, are you conservative? Are you liberal? Are you progressive? They like progressive. It sounds so nice, right? It'll destroy our country. It's actually become a terrible word. It'll destroy our country. But it's not about that. It's about common sense. We want to bring common sense back in. This is all common sense that we're talking about today. And Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before, even beyond your expectations. And you are the people that are doing it. As we stop the war on crypto, we will immediately, and we'll do this very quickly, begin to build our economy, because when America is prospering, Bitcoin is soaring and it'll go up with it. We had the greatest economy ever, and we will soon have it again. Under the Trump administration, the typical middle-class family income rose by $6,000 a year. People don't like mentioning that. America had more money to save than at any time in many decades. As a result, during my 4 years in office, now you have to listen to these numbers. These numbers are like beautiful. And I don't want to repeat myself. Listen to these numbers. As a result, during my 4 years in office, Bitcoin surged by 3,900%. From $898 the day I took office to $35,900 the day I left. That was the biggest jump, I guess, in just about any industry. Think of that. Now compare that to just after 3.5 years of Biden and Harris, adjusted for inflation, Bitcoin is up 50%. Now, 50% sounds good, but not when you're comparing it to almost 4,000%, right? 50%. You know, normally you say, oh, that sounds pretty good. Let's not put that into the speech. No, 50% is not good. When people can't afford groceries or rent, they have no savings to store in Bitcoin. This administration caused the biggest inflation in the history of our country. And that's what's happened. Our people are being wiped out. From the very first day we take back the White House, we will replace the Biden-Harris economic stagnation with a brand new Trump economic boom. You're going to have a tremendous boom. You know, you have a lot of great analysts out there. Scott, I'm talking about you, Scott, one of the greatest of all, and others that say the stock market's going up because they think Trump is going to be elected. And if Trump isn't elected, this country is going to go into a depression, the likes of what you had in 1929. And I hope that's not true, but I can understand it, and I can understand what they're saying. The stock market gain, they think, is because looks like we're going to win the election. And I don't know what's going to happen with the election. You know, they cheat like hell, and I don't know what's going to happen. But if we win it, this country is going to be boomtown. It's going to be booming like it never boomed before. The current administration's economic plan includes trillions in new spending and $5 trillion tax hikes. They want to increase taxes by $5 trillion. They want the expiration of the Trump tax cuts to take place. They want a wealth confiscation tax so that when you make all of your money that you're going to make and all of the people you're going to employ, they want to take away your money in the form of a first-time ever tax and a gigantic capital gains tax that will exceed substantially in many states over 50%. My plan is the opposite. We will lift the workers and we will create savers out of so many people, and we will reward success. We will not punish success. They want to punish success. They want to punish genius. I'm not going to let that happen. I will make the Trump tax cuts permanent and deliver massive tax cuts for families and individuals and businesses that produce jobs. That includes no tax on tips. You know that, right? Going to get rid of the tax on tips. I will cut unnecessary and burdensome regulations, fight every day to make America the best place on earth to build a business, including a crypto business. It's going to be the best place. You're not going to have to go to China. You're not going to have to learn, gee, how do I learn Chinese? I want to learn it very quickly. I have a little granddaughter that speaks fluent Chinese. Can you believe it? And it's a wonderful thing, but it's not easy, but you're not going to have to do it. Most importantly, for our citizens, we will end the inflation nightmare that this administration has created, and we will end it quickly. It's got to end. It's destroying our country. You know, inflation is a country buster. You can go back many, many years to Germany, and you look at what happened to Germany during their huge period of inflation, destroyed the country. It's a country buster. The Bitcoiners, and I say to you that you recognize the dangers of inflation long before most others did. You understood inflation, frankly, better than anybody else. You know that, don't you? If only they had listened. They didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to you. The trillions of dollars in ridiculous waste approved by our opponents resulted in the very inflation disaster that Bitcoiners had always predicted. 20, 30, and even 40% of the value of every dollar was wiped out, and wiped out quickly. You understood that, but a lot of other people didn't. The life savings of millions of Americans was rapidly destroyed. And very simply, uncontrolled inflation is a stealth taxation of the middle class. It really is. It's a stealth taxation. I call it the Biden tax. Now I'll call it the Harris tax, or the Harris-Biden tax, or whatever the hell we're going to call them. But it's a disaster. It's a tax of 50%. It's a 50% tax. Inflation, think of it, it's a 50% tax on people, 50. This is a human tragedy, and it's destroyed people. It's a national disgrace. It's destroyed everything in its way. It must never be allowed to happen again, and it won't. When I'm president, I guarantee you it won't happen, because we're going to do things that make sure it doesn't happen. They've allowed pricing to get totally out of control. We're going to do energy, bring it down to levels that people have not seen in many, many years. We had it at levels. We were at $1.87 for a gallon of gasoline. You don't see that right now. For 4 straight years, under my leadership, we had effectively no inflation, none. When I left office, it was 1.4%, and then it stayed there for almost 2 years. Remember when Biden said it was 9. I inherited 9%. That was just another lie. Misinformation, disinformation. We gave them a hot country. We went through the COVID. We did an incredible job. Never got credit for that. Always got credit for the economy, for the military. We rebuilt the military. We created Space Force. We did so many different things. Never got credit for that. You know what? We gave them a great country with essentially no inflation. And after 2 years, they drove this country and they drove inflation through the roof. 2 years, cost of living went up in some cases by over 50%. And they say 22%. They like to say 22, but it could be much higher, and it is much higher depending on what they include. They don't include things like interest rates that went from 2.5% to 10%, but you can't get the money. When I return to the White House, I will stop the wild and wasteful spending of this administration. I will end the endless wars. They never stop. Again, we had no wars. We had no new wars under your favorite president, President Trump. We had no new wars. They thought I was going to start a war. Let me tell you something. I'm going to stop World War III because we're closer to World War III than we've ever been since the end of World War II. I will seal the border and stop the invasion of millions of people pouring into our country illegally. We will totally defeat, and we will do this quickly. We will defeat inflation, and together we will bring back the American dream for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. We will bring it back, the American dream. You don't even hear the statement American dream anymore. You don't hear those words anymore. We used to talk about the American dream. A lot of you people are in the American dream, but you're going to be crushed if you don't elect me. I hate to tell you. You don't elect me, you're going to be crushed. You're going to say, Alice, what a mistake it was.
Doesn't sound good, man. Doesn't sound good.
Who has no talent. She's been a failure at almost everything she's done instead of Trump. And look at us now. We're going to move into an extremely small house from our beautiful house. But we will end the war on American energy, and we will very simply drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We have to. It's what we have. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation in the world, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. We don't use it. We don't use it. They use it. We don't use it. We go out and buy oil from Venezuela. It's amazing. But we won't stop there. We will harness American energy in all forms. I have set the ambitious goal that by the end of my term, the United States will be the #1 lowest cost of energy and electricity of any nation on earth. We can make it so inexpensively. Because of what we have under our feet, we can make it so inexpensively. And with low energy costs, America will become the world's undisputed Bitcoin mining powerhouse. You'll be a Bitcoin mining powerhouse. You will not have to move your family to China. You will not be moving to China. As we implement these reforms, Bitcoin and crypto will grow our economy, cement American financial dominance, and strengthen our entire country long into the future. Many Americans do not realize that the United States government is among the largest holders of Bitcoin. Does anyone know that? How about that? The federal government is almost 210,000 Bitcoin, or 1% of the total supply that will ever exist. But for too long, our government has violated the cardinal rule that every Bitcoiner knows by heart. Never sell your Bitcoin, right? That's right, isn't it, huh? That's right. How did I figure that one? Never sell your Bitcoin. And so, as the final part of my plan today, I am announcing that if I am elected, it will be the policy of my administration, United States of America, to keep 100% of all the Bitcoin the U.S. government currently holds or acquires into the future. We'll keep 100%. I hope you do well, please.
That's not what we wanted to hear.
This will serve in effect as the core of the strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. As you know, most of the Bitcoin currently held by the United States government was obtained through law enforcement action. You know that. They took it from you. let's take that guy's life. Let's take his family, his house, his Bitcoin. We'll turn it into Bitcoin. It's been taken away from you because that's where we're going now. That's where this country is going. It's a fascist regime. And so as I take steps to transform that vast wealth into a permanent national asset to benefit all Americans, today I repeat my pledge to commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served. It's enough.
He didn't announce buying more Bitcoin in a strategic reserve, just not selling the ones that we have, which is not what the market wanted, I think.
That's where we are as a country. Ultimately, my promise to each and every one of you is this: I will be the pro-innovation and pro-Bitcoin president that America needs and our citizens deserve. This will be one industry, but this will be a thriving industry, a great industry, and I'm going to be doing the same thing for every other industry also. Our nation has never thrived by trying to censor new ideas and shut down the dreams of our people. America always plants our flag on the next frontier and pushes boldly ahead. We have to do that. We haven't been doing that for a long time, especially the last 3.5 years. It's gone the exact opposite. Those of you in this room inherit the legacy of generations of American pioneers and patriots, risk takers and renegades who settled this continent, built the modern world, and lived on the bleeding edge. You live on a bleeding edge. You do know that, Bitcoiners, don't you? You are the modern day Edisons and Wright brothers and Carnegies and Henry Fords, and what you do in your lifetime stands a chance to outlive us all and inspire humanity for generations to come. This will go down as a very important day in the history of your industry. Together, you are building America's future with your own smarts, your own grit, and your own skin in the game. You have a lot of skin in the game, and that's what you're doing. It takes courage to do it. Most people don't have that courage. My job will be to set you free and to let you do what Americans do best and what you're going to do better than anybody. Win, win, win. You're going to win, win, win. With energy, passion, and brilliance like we have rarely seen before, our country cannot fail. We're in a failing nation right now, but we're not going to be for long. Our country cannot fail. With your help, we will save our nation, we will restore our republic, and we will make America and Bitcoin bigger, better, stronger, richer, freer, and greater than ever before. Thank you all. Have a good time with your Bitcoin and your crypto and everything else that you're playing with. And we're going to make that one of the greatest industries on earth. Good luck, and God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
I'll be on for another 15 minutes to break down my thoughts. Bitcoin right here dropping 1.2%. Well, for all the people over the past couple of weeks that have accused me of being super MAGA, now you get to hear me critique the other side. I get to give the opposite side of some of the Trump analysis. Obviously, I do think Trump winning would probably be good in some respects for the market. I don't think Kamala winning would necessarily tank the market. I do think Trump would have some tax policies, things like that would be better. Trump is obviously going to be a little bit better for Bitcoin than Kamala, given he announced some things around Bitcoin. So all of my critiques that I'm about to talk about of this speech, it is coming from a person who did debate in high school, who has given thousands of speeches across audiences. So I understand a little bit about public speaking. It's less about Trump and crypto because I think he's better than Kamala. I'll say that right now. He's obviously better than Kamala. Kamala didn't even show up, but this was not a good speech. This was not a good speech. The only announcement I think we really wanted, that last sentence, enjoy your Bitcoin or whatever else you're playing with. Dude, that sentence already was just like, I mean, it's a very Trump sentence, but it's just a sentence that's like, enjoy your little toys you're playing with and like vote for me. It's what we needed to hear was a strategic reserve asset. That's what we needed to hear. And at the very end, my ears perked up when he finally said, we are going to, and then he gets into it, and you could even see the hesitation in his voice because you could tell what the audience wanted him to say, but he didn't say it. He called it a strategic stockpile, which is not a reserve asset. He specifically said stockpile. And then second of all, he didn't commit to buying any Bitcoin like RFK did. His specific quote was that we are just not going to sell the Bitcoin that we currently have. We have 210,000 Bitcoin. So the strategic reserve, this is SharDB. This is a big crypto account, like a very big crypto account. All the crypto accounts, by the way, if you go on Twitter, there are like some people pumping his speech, thinking like he's saying amazing stuff. The far majority of sophisticated crypto people are saying this is a horrible speech. I've gotten multiple texts from Trump supporters in the past 30 minutes that are saying this is one of the worst speeches they've ever seen. The strategic reserve he's going to keep are the 210,000 Bitcoin that the U.S. already owns, and he won't sell it. That is not a strategic reserve. That is just not selling the Bitcoin. Wow, I just got a text from someone. I just got a text that they sold some of their Bitcoin from the speech. Wow, look at that. I just got a text from someone that they sold some of their Bitcoin. They just sent me the screenshot. I'm telling you, bro. And look, do I think Bitcoin tanks to like 40K? No, but I do think, maybe we could see some downside pressure. Now, do we have to? I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but there are people that are selling. I mean, this was just not a good speech. This was just not a good speech. So that's the first problem, right? The strategic reserve thing, absolutely the thing that we wanted to hear. I mean, that would have saved the entire speech. That was not baked in. I mean, he could have had a horrible speech. That last sentence, if he said, I will commit to buying 2,000 Bitcoin over the course of my administration, like even that I think would have pumped it, because then Bitcoin knows, hey, you're catching a bid. He didn't even say that. So that was the first problem. Sonny says, I don't know why everyone thought he was going to promise the strategic reserve policy. The internet got way ahead of itself. I agree. I 1000% agree. I think the internet got ahead of itself. Everyone got ahead of themselves, particularly because RFK said this already. And then the rumor is going around that he was going to do it. It was just kind of wishful thinking. But in general, I don't want to make my critique super aggressive, because at the end of the day, this is how Trump is. He's a rambling guy. He talks about a bunch of topics, and that's just kind of his mojo. And it works a lot when it's his base. This was not his base. These were people, I would argue, that are probably independents, and they're probably thinking of voting between Trump and RFK, maybe even Kamala. They're probably, socially liberal. They're fine with the Democratic Party, but they just really care about this one issue. And even if they hate Trump for 17 reasons, if he could give them a hell of a reason to like him for this specific thing, they could become a single issue voter. That's who he was talking to. So talking about Elizabeth Warren, talking about EVs, talking about the election, all of this stuff, like from January 6th, all of this, like none of it, I think, mattered to the far majority of the 8,000 people that were in that room, and to the hundreds of thousands that were watching, because they care about crypto. And you got good sound bites. I'll give him that. The getting rid of Gary Gensler, that was a good soundbite. The Bitcoin going to the moon, it was a good soundbite, although it was backed with no substance, really. He just randomly said it. And the crypto mining in the United States versus in China, that was a good soundbite. But then again, China already banned crypto mining, so it's not like China is like super competitive with us. It just wasn't anything of substance. That was my problem. And that's why I didn't like it too much. Bitcoin's bouncing back a little. Yeah, look, Bitcoin might pump. I don't know what the hell's going to happen to the price. I mean, quite frankly, I do think I'm still very bullish end of the year on crypto. And I think rate cuts are going to be the next catalyst to get Bitcoin higher from that 75 level of resistance. And we'll see kind of where Bitcoin goes. So I think it does well to the end of the year, and the Trump thing is over now. It happened. It's done. Markets are going to look past it. However, the speech itself just was not that good, in my opinion. It just was not that good. So I think it was tough. I think, again, he was pandering to the base, and the base just wasn't there, right? The base was not at this conference. So he said he would fire Gary Gensler. That's a good statement. He also said the reason I'm addressing the Bitcoin community can be summed up in 2 words: America first. If we don't do it right, China will do it. So let's do it first. Again, I think a decent soundbite, but not really baked with substance. What I wanted to hear, more importantly, from Trump was his agenda, his plan that the team is coming out with. I wish they had just wrote it down and they kind of gave him a couple bullet points under each larger point, and he could say that. and it would be more focused around that. You can do a little bit of off-topic rambling, but the far majority of the 40-minute speech, I would say 80% of it was rambling. That's what made it a little tough to hear, and that's why it wasn't that strong. But besides that, it is what it is. I mean, it's much better than what we got from other people. All right, I just got a text from another Trump supporter, a friend of mine. He says Trump is simply not capable of delivering the planned remarks. He bombed the debate, which was saved by Biden being totally incompetent. He bombed the RNC speech. He bombed the Bitcoin speech. He's not going to win over independent and undecided voters with this rambling. He's a moron. He said effing moron. And I'm honestly thinking about not voting for anyone. He's so stupid. This is someone who voted for Trump back in 2020. Again, it's not just me, dude. There's a lot of people that feel like this. So it is what it is. Sonny says, I thought the speech was good. Total support for the industry. Gensler fired on day one. Total support for miners, keeping the Bitcoin we have. Yeah, I mean, look, those were the good key points. And I agree. I mean, 100% better than Kamala for Bitcoin. It's just that like speech that's going to be talked about for weeks and like really going to go viral and do the numbers. I don't know if he said enough there to get there. But like, if you like crypto, it's not Kamala. So, and we kind of already knew that going into this, right? So it's not like anything was different, but at least we got him to agree to some of those core arguments. Christian Soto, Gary is gone. Government will hold a Bitcoin reserve. No CBDC productions for all self-custody. Develop a council of Bitcoin crypto free. Ross. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that was essentially what he said. Again, the presentation of saying that, it just was not the best presentation I think he could have done. So it is what it is. Bitcoin has 67,842, so it's up a little bit. Recovered the 1% it lost, but still stuck in that 67,000 range. Again, I will reiterate, Trump is better for Bitcoin than Kamala Harris based on the information I have today. This speech was just not an exciting speech to get people into that vision. Now, having said that, we also have some headlines. A rocket has been fired from Hezbollah to the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights, and 10 young children have died. The Israeli military is confirming. Netanyahu is absolutely pissed off. He is immediately on his way back to Israel. And that also, Trump started off with that at the beginning of his speech. There's an argument that might have threw Trump off his game, because that's some pretty startling news. I didn't get to talk about it because we immediately went live, but I tweeted about it. And so that could have ramifications for futures going into Sunday. I'm surprised Bitcoin didn't react too much when that news came out, because if Israel really plans to strike back, it's very similar to the Israel-Iran situation that happened back in in April 2024. I was going to say a different year, but that, maybe that was something that Trump startled him a bit, but overall just wasn't the best speech. Now, from a public speaking perspective, again, I actually coach public speaking. I have my own clients. I have my own consulting firm around public speaking. I didn't expect him to not be super rambly, because I know that's who he is. But if the rambles were just kept to a minimum and he focused on some of the core points, I think would have been good. I don't think he rehearsed the speech. And I know Trump is not used to rehearsing speeches. I get it. Like, that's just who he is. This was one of those speeches I feel like you would rehearse. It's almost like going to an evangelical town. Let's imagine there's 10,000 evangelical Christians and you're going to speak to them. What do they want to hear? They want to hear you are not going to allow abortion to become a real thing. They want to hear, you're going to be more pro-life. They want to hear that the Supreme Court is going to be filled with pro-life justices. They want to hear that the sanctity of the sovereignty of the individual, as backed by Judeo-Christian ethics, as the foundation for American democracy, is a value that you believe in. There's certain key talking points that you hit on, and you don't start talking about EVs. None of those evangelicals give a shit about electric vehicle subsidies. Some of them might, but the far majority don't. And I think same thing here. Like, the Bitcoin people don't really care about EVs. They care about Bitcoin. And Trump talked a little bit too much about stuff that just didn't matter. So, yeah, that's kind of my overall take on it. The Israel news, I think, is actually much more important news right now. And I think that will be developing over time. And we're going to have to see what happens there. No major news stations are covering it live right now. Otherwise, I would go to those feeds. It would just cut some articles online. So I guess we're waiting for more coverage on that. And then we'll have a better update on what's going on. All right, so that's what we got. That's what we got. And again, I don't want to seem overly critical of Trump. That's not my goal here. It's just you got to be a little objective here. That speech was not the best, and really didn't have the God candle that people were thinking could have been baked into Bitcoin. And again, it's really not me saying that, dude. I've gotten multiple texts. I read them live to you guys from Trump supporters that are just like, this is not what they wanted to see. It is what it is. I still think Bitcoin does well this year. I think rate cuts, liquidity will be good for Bitcoin. And I guess we'll see how the market opens later. Derek says, take the day off. Now, well, I'm going to the gym after this. Now I got to go to the gym. Gotta get some, even though I already walked like 5-6 miles in the morning, but now I got to do some strength training, lift some weights, get another sweat in. And I'll be back on Monday and we'll talk more about what's going on in the market. So next week, little preview for next week. We have Fed FOMC meeting. We have Meta earnings. We have Microsoft. We have Amazon. We have Apple. We've got a bunch of other smaller companies that are and other larger companies that are reporting. So AMD, Intel, the semis, they're reporting. That's going to be an important week. We got, again, Jay Powell talking. That'll be important. We're probably going to have more data in the context of inflation. We had PCE data came out on Friday. It was a little higher than expected, but otherwise came in line. And we'll have CPI in 2 weeks. So that's CPI. We see a 2-handle. That'll be good. Small caps are breaking the resistance against the S&P 500. We'll see if they can have more momentum to keep going higher next week. So next week's going to be a crazy week, dude. Next week, we're going to be live basically like 8 hours a day next week. It's going to be a lot next week. So next week's going to be a very, very busy week. And we'll see what happens with Bitcoin and the rest of the stock market. Okay, real quick. Benny says Cynthia Lemons announces after Trump that they are buying 1 million Bitcoin. That is news. Who is Cynthia Lemons? Cynthia Lemons. I don't know who this person is. Cynthia Lemons. Is she part of the Trump campaign? That would be news if the Trump campaign is committing to buying that much Bitcoin. But if he was, why didn't he just say it live? You know? Oh, Senator Cynthia Lemons or Lummis. Okay, Benny, you definitely spelled that wrong. Cynthia Lummis. Yeah, there's a bunch of senators there, but they're just saying random shit, dude. Like the senators want to get reelected as well. They're not saying anything. She's from Wyoming. They're not actually saying something interesting. Yeah, see, she just tweeted like, "Hey, we're gonna try to start a reserve," but like, it doesn't matter, dude. Like, we got to get from the top down Trump actually committing to something for that to be, real policy. If Trump said we're gonna buy 1 million Bitcoin, bro, yeah, things would have been different. He did not say that. He just said, and the thing about Trump, he probably can't commit to buying 1 million Bitcoin, dude. Like, he can't do that yet. But he can definitely commit to not selling the current amount of Bitcoin they have. That's normal. It's just that's not news. That's really gonna move the price of Bitcoin, I think. All right, not bad. That's it for me. Thank you everybody for being here. We'll be back tomorrow, on Monday, market open. We'll keep going from there. Busy week as we get into Monday, and we'll see what happens next week on the markets and for crypto. All right, bye everybody. Thank you all for being here. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you Monday morning. Bye everyone. Have a good one.